Boxing truth here. Eddie Hearn is exposing more bullshit from the Eubanks. Well, really, Christopher Eubanks Sr., English. As after the result from the Golovkin Brook fight, it seemed like the whole boxing world was calling out Golovkin. Everybody was talking shit. Calling Golovkin out. It just seems like Brook's success in some of the rounds against Golovkin has all of a sudden made a lot of these middleweights in the division become more courageous, at least on Twitter, and willing to sign a contract to fight Golovkin. But Eddie Hearn disputed the claims of the Eubanks as Jr. put a video out on his social medias right before the Golovkin Brook fight. Was talking about how the fight was switched at the last minute, as he claims that Eddie Hearn saw an opportunity to not pay as much money to have Brook fight Golovkin compared to Eubank Jr. fighting Golovkin. But Eddie Hearn disputed that claim, and you just can't believe it. You can't take the Eubanks seriously. They're full of shit. Jr. has no idea what's going on. He wasn't even involved in negotiations while he was waiting for the contract and he says he had the pen in his hand. His father was fucking up the whole deal to the point where Eddie Hearn just pulled the plug. He pretty much got the message that the Eubanks never intended on fighting Golovkin. And Eddie Hearn did everything he could. He got the deal. He brought the terms to the Eubanks. He delivered what Senior wanted, and that was a fight for Triple G against his son. Had the contract right in front of him, and they didn't sign. They didn't take the fight. They let the deadline pass. And now they're trying to say that Eddie Hearn was the one that didn't try to make the fight happen. But yet, he recently said that he actually paid more money to Golovkin for him to fight Kell Brook. That he had to spend a lot more to get Golovkin over to the UK to fight Kell Brook because, according to Eddie Hearn, Golovkin felt that Brook was the much tougher fight compared to Eubank Jr. That's an interesting statement by Eddie Hearn. Golovkin actually felt a welterweight in Kell Brook was a much tougher fight than Eubank Jr. Now, Brook is the more established fighter. He's a world champion. He's the much more experienced guy, and he had the tools, the speed, and the skill set to really trouble Golovkin. As you can see, the success he had against Golovkin in some moments of that fight. Golovkin got hit the most he's ever been hit, I believe, in his career through 5 rounds of that fight. I mean, Brook really laid hands on him. They couldn't hurt him, but he definitely put some combinations together. And what was a very entertaining fight while it lasted. Now, Junior is, like many other middleweights and other fighters in the boxing world, all of a sudden, after the result, are talking about Golovkin. They're talking shit, calling him out. But Junior fucked up, man. The Eubanks fucked up. They already had their chance. They had the fight right on the table. It was ready for it to be taken for them to get this fight. He could have made millions of pounds instead of embarrassing himself, not taking the fight, and now he's ending up fighting on an undercard to a Frank Warren promoted show. You go from millions of pounds in a significant fight, high profile fight, to now fighting on a fucking undercard with the type of following Junior has and fan base that he has. He's fighting on a fucking undercard on a Frank Warren promoted show for a British title defense. And Eddie Hearn, he doesn't want to deal with the Eubanks. Didn't seem like he made a genuine effort to try to win the bid for Eubank Jr.'s next British title defense. He made a bid, but it didn't seem like he really tried to win it. Frank Warren ended up winning that bid, and now Jr. is fighting on Box Nation for his next fight on an undercard. So Eddie Hearn is exposing more bullshit from the Eubanks, as Senior is very delusional, talking mad shit. Actually said that Golovkin is light work for Eubank Jr. Now, I would love to see the fight, even though I'm pretty confident Golovkin will beat Jr. right now. I still would love to see it for the entertainment purposes because it will be a really good fight. And Jr. would bring it to Golovkin and would make it interesting for at least a few rounds. But it's over now. He's not going to get that fight. Eddie Hearn's already stated, he's been on record saying that Loeffler told him that he doesn't even want to deal with the Eubanks. Let's have more smooth sailing negotiations, more smooth sailing promotions, and make money with no issues and no problems. Just promote the fight and may the best man win between the two promotional entities. And that's what they did with Brook Golovkin. It was a good promotion. It was a great event. It was a great fight for a while it lasted. And Eddie Hearn has no regrets for making the fight. Even though Kell Brook took an L. He took his first defeat. But his stock has risen more than ever. And Junior, he's embarrassing himself fighting on an undercard on a Frank Warren promoted show. And they're talking about they want Golovkin, but Golovkin doesn't seem interested at all in Eubank Jr. now. He gave him the shot to take the fight, even though Golovkin didn't really have nothing to gain from that fight, despite getting a big UK fight and getting paid to fight a British fighter in Eubank Jr. There was really no huge incentive besides money to come over to fight Eubank Jr. and recognition and exposure, the UK exposure he would get. But now Junior just has nothing that Golovkin wants. Golovkin already has his first UK fight. He's got it out of the way. It didn't seem like he had the best experience. He wasn't smiling throughout fight week. He was upset for being stranded in traffic an hour and a half just to get to the weigh-in, which is why he wasn't in his most smiling mood as usually is. And for his next fight, I'm hearing he's going to go back to the United States where it's more comfortable for him. And his next fight most likely may take place in LA. And he either wants Billy Joe Saunders, or he may make the mandatory defense against Jacobs. But just because fights are mandated doesn't mean that they'll happen. So we'll see how the situation goes. But for Junior, he fucked up, man. He had his chance to take that fight. It was right on the table for him to take it. Millions of pounds he could have earned for that fight. You never know till you fight the fights. Even though Golovkin would have been a huge favorite, you still have to fight the fights. But now Junior may never get that chance. He's going to have to become a mandatory to Golovkin, or somehow get that WO strap from Saunders, as that's also another difficult negotiation for that fight to be made. But man, Junior fucked up calling out Golovkin, but that fight is now further out of reach than it's ever been. He had that fight in his grasp, and now it's just gone. He's never gonna get it unless he becomes a Mando or picks up a strap that Golovkin wants to fulfill his dream of becoming the undisputed king at 160. It looks like Eubank Jr.'s days as a matchroom fighter are numbered. Eddie Hearn's not even dealing with them. He's had his father dealing with them. Doesn't want to talk to them, doesn't want to deal with them. Still has one fight left with them, but that could easily be... It might not even go down. Junior might end up parting ways with Matchroom again, and it's just more bullshit from the Eubanks. And Eddie Hearn continues to expose their bullshit. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.